Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway, folks. We're halfway. I'm feeling really charged up this morning. I did an event last night, and platform mediumship's a big group event. Charge me. It's like I just feel like I've just been plugged into like the ultimate energy is kind of how it feels like, and it lasts and it lingers, and I love it so much. So here we are. Come on in, have a seat. So today is a little bit different. It's more of a what spirit said versus an energy update, but it kind of blends into a little bit of that too. And it kind of ties into a little bit of what we talked about on Monday about the emotions being high and about navigating through some feelings and all the extra stuff that's kind of coming in with heightened awareness and our own abilities seem to be growing or increasing, our own sensitivities as well, feeling a little bit more sensitive to things. So that you may be navigating through a lot of that. But when I saw it to channel this morning, and I never know where spirit's going to go when I kind of sit there. One of my guides came forward. It was Estrid, who is very upfront and bold. I love her so much. But she started to show me a few things. That don't fit anymore. And I just wanted to share that. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to slow my speech down. Like I said, I'm still quite plugged into the energy from last night. So what she talked about though, and what she meant was with all this stuff that we're going through, with all this heightened awareness, it's like a level up. We talked about openings, and we talked about the energy that's kind of really pushing us to grow forward. What Estrid said to me this morning was, "Don't forget about the things that no longer fit now." And I think sometimes, and she's, of course, she's right. I think sometimes as we grow, as we transform, and as we kind of go into this, higher awareness, and whatever that means for you, whether it be some healing or whether it be some personal growth or whether it be some shifts, one thing that we kind of have to remember is the things that no longer fit, whether it be old patterns or situations or groups, whatever it is that no longer resonates with you. We're coming into a bit of a space where I think we're going to kind of struggle to fit back in. And what she was showing me was trying to get back into a pair of pants that no longer fit. You know how you're kind of like trying to get them in, and you start to kind of navigate through. Like, why doesn't this feel right anymore, and why don't they fit? It's because of the growth. We are in a space of big growth, and that's being hollered at us more and more and more. That inspired feeling of stepping into new places, and that new space that we're coming into collectively, and it is a big collective space. So I'm curious if some of you have been in it may come into thoughts of I don't think I really want to go to that, or I think I don't no longer want to follow that, or it's affecting me. Things may be affecting you that never affected you before, and that's kind of how you know that something's not fitting anymore. And rather it be new places or relationships. And I think that some of us struggle with kind of like honoring that. We want to grow, and we work on our spirituality, and we work on ourselves, and we work on that authentic piece. And as we navigate through that, we kind of have this uncomfortable feeling or awareness of what's not fitting anymore. And I think that as we navigate through the rest of the week and into the weekend and probably into the next couple weeks, I feel like we're going to be feeling that pinch, like the pants are too tight kind of pinch that we often will go through. That can bring in a lot of fear as well, right? So that fear of losing losing connections, or that space of change can bring in a lot of fear. And what Estrid was saying is just change your pants. And I laughed so hard at her. I literally did. It's like size up. Literally size up. If the pants don't fit, or if the situation doesn't fit anymore on how you're feeling, it's time to size up. And that really struck a big chord for me as well personally because I've been kind of feeling this whole transformation with myself. My groups have been very different. How I'm working is very different. And every now and again, I kind of lean into, well, we used to do it this way, or I used to do it this way, or this used to be what I enjoyed. And and it's about pushing through and getting a new pair of pants. And I chuckle because Esther just brings it in so funny with such ease, and it does make a lot of sense. But here in the physical world, we want to hold back on to that familiar. We want to lean back into that old ways or old patterns or old situations, and we struggle with that moving forward. And it's okay to say, "I love you so much, but I need to go in this direction," and I need to go get a new pair of pants. And I just feel like we need to kind of bring that forward into our own awareness in a very loving way, because often what happens is it's easier to go forward when there's been a reason, when there's been drama or there's been an argument or there's been a situation, and we can't avoid that, is what Esther is saying. We can't avoid all that. We don't need to have anything more than a feeling that this no longer resonates or this no longer fits anymore. And she also showed me the social media world as a big part of that as well, because our world is expansive just based on social media. When you think about how expansive it is, there are people here just in the chats that are from all over the world. That's expansion, and that's a great thing. But there's also that balance in that world, in the social media world, with what no longer serves us. We just need to say, you know what, it's okay to unfollow, it's okay to not go in, it's okay when we kind of are in that space of growth. And here's one thing that like that Esther had kind of really reinforced is when we're in that space of growth, and when you think about all the things that you want, your desires, what you're asking for, what you've been manifesting, when we kind of get that moment or a push and we don't kind of take it, the universe does turn up the volume a little bit with this. They will show you more, is what I'm trying to get to, is they will show you more that this isn't working for you. So you start to see that increase in issues in certain situations, whether it be with people, whether it be at work, whether it be with just stuff that's in your life. The volume gets turned up because we're saying to the universe, hey, I want to transform, hey, I want to transform, but oh, I don't want to let go, or I don't want to kind of be I don't want to deal with the moving forward part. And the universe says, well, here's where you need to go, and we'll just turn it up a little bit louder and make you more and more uncomfortable until you're willing to change your pants. And I chuckle every time because Astrid's very visual with me, so she was literally showing me, like pants being ripped off or pants that don't fit, and trying to wedge ourselves back into them. We do try to wedge ourselves back into things that no longer s- serve us for so many reasons, and it's part of it's the comfort zone, and part of it is we do overthink and we do question new things, new beginnings, new places, new growth. We kind of get in there and question it a little bit. Change your pants is literally, and I think I'm going to practice that a little bit. I think I might literally either go out and get a new pair of pants, or or use what I have in my closet and change my pants. And because I think sometimes we need to kind of have that practice before we can kind of step into it fully. So if you're a person that struggles with, okay, the growth is in front of me, I've done the work, and now I got to lean into it. I really feel that this whole analogy of changing our pants, and it can be something simple. It can be change anything you want. But I think that sometimes when we practice it, we become a little bit more ease. We ease into it just a little bit more of, okay, these new pants fit okay. I got to break them in, kind of space. And that, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that. Is we're breaking in now into a, a new level, and that's exactly what spirit's been talking about with our whole this whole transformation and this whole growth, and all this talk about portals opening and the veil getting thinner. We're coming into that space where it's like, okay, now change your pants and go for it. When it comes to the overthinking, we get in the way so much, and the overthinking brings in that fearful vibration, and I understand why we do it. Right? I've been there myself. I don't know how many times I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and then I kind of tangle it up in there, and I get kind of tangled up, and I get like I can't find my way out of the overthinking, and I have to come back out and kind of I'm just going to allow, and I'm just going to trust, and I'm just going to navigate through this, and it's coming up for me for a reason. Spirit showing me this for a reason, or it's part of my learning and it's part of my journey, and I try to step out of that because fear is so restrictive. It holds back. It affects us at so many levels, at a physical level, an emotional level, and at a spiritual level. So I really try not to feed the fear. I hope that that resonates with some of you. Change your pants. And allow that growth and allow that expansion to settle in, because I do feel we're coming into that settling in space of all this energy that's been going on around us, with all the things that we've been talking about with the inspirations and the connections and our own spiritual growth and our higher intuition. That's all going to continue to grow and to rise up, and we've got to go with it now. And that's what Estrid said, is we've got to go with it now. We've got to kind of walk that talk, right? We got kind of like got to have lean in there big time. I hope that that makes sense. I'm curious to see how many of you resonate with "It's time to change our pants." And I love how spirit words it so much, words things so much, because it really does help when there's just basic terminology. It doesn't have to be fancy schmancy talk about growth and elevation and all that. It's very simple. Change your pants. I love that so much, and I think sometimes um we just lean into the complication of things, and even in spirituality we lean into the complicated, whether it be the words or whether it be the rituals, or whether it be just do you, and just go forward, and love that part of you, and love as you're learning how to change your pants. I'm going to scroll through some of the comments and questions here. I do have clients this morning. I'm working on Zoom this week, so I do have to watch my time. I gotta be mindful of how much time I spend here. I could hang out with you guys all day, honestly, but I do have to spend time working. Dan, it's good to see you here. I hope everyone is doing really well today. Sending love and light to everyone watching. I hope it helps. Dan, we've missed you, and I love you so much, and we all love you so much. It's good to see you joining live this morning. We hope that you are well as well. Diane Quinn, was was at the group session last night. It was amazing. Didn't have spirit come through, but listening to others reading was beautiful. Oh, lovely. Diane, I'm not sure. So, um, I usually forget spirit takes most of the messages and the people. But if you're ever at an event, Diane, come up and introduce yourself, or any of you who follow me, come on up and just say, hey, it's so and so, and I follow you on the YouTube channel. Because I'd love to have a moment or two. The event last night was pretty incredible. Spirit changed again how we work. It was very physical. I was feeling a lot of things very physical. Last night I just had all these physical sensations that I just allowed spirit to, this is how we're working tonight. I really felt, though, Diane, I'm gonna be lovingly honest here. I struggled with the time. I wanted to stay. I really felt I wanted to stay and continue. So ending it for me, I really struggled with, and I'm not sure if that was visible energetically or not, but I wanted to keep going. But timelines with space is something that I had to be mindful of. But I could have stood up there all night last night. Peyton, I can see that this past year has burned away. What doesn't? The recent eclipse was like a new year moving into steady day practice of moving forward, as opposed to the razzle dazzle. I'm very happy for you, Peyton, and I'm glad that you're embracing that, because it is a big one, and embracing the new ways of being. Sometimes, and I just want to kind of add a little bit to this, is sometimes, and I've been there. Sometimes I felt like kind of alone. It's like I'm alone in this. It's just me navigating through my stuff, and it's just me navigating through my, through my, through the shifts. And and I think sometimes that space, and navigating through it on your own is very good as well. I mean, we all need support, but sometimes we just need that alone time, to kind of feel what we're doing and feel and think for ourselves, because we are so influenced, right? We're influenced in the time that we're born, right? So that time to kind of navigate through that is so important as well. So if you're ever working on your spirituality or working on yourself, and you're feeling that, I'm a little bit of alone here, number one, know that you're not. You're always surrounded. You're always surrounded by love and angels and guides and people who've passed, and you're surrounded by other people in the universe, that are going through it too. But sometimes that space to think for yourself really helps with the rewiring piece, or the thinking of new way piece, because we are so influenced. Linda, good morning. Any messages from me? Linda, I really feel, and it I really feel is and it might just be for today or the next couple days. I really feel like I've got I just seen spirit take a shifter and downshift, like that, the slow down, like, when you, car shifter is kind of how I seen it. I need to kind of get you to bring it down a gear, even if it's just for an hour, even if it's just for, for a day. I feel like I just need to kind of like chill or slow down or not feel like I'm going so fast. I feel like I just got to bring you down a gear, and and I think it's more of that restful space or that settling space. I feel like I just got to settle into something. I hope that makes sense to you there. I hope I pronounced your name here right. Rubab. Good morning, Lana. I feel like Spirit has some strong messages for me. I was wondering if you could bring anything through. So when I lean in there, I feel like I've got to remind you about processes and trusting them. So I don't know. It's funny because the last message I gave, I seen the shifter. For you, I feel like I've got the opposite. I've got a little bit of a gas pedal here. I feel like I've got to kind of like allow the momentum and allow the movement, but I feel like it has to come from you, because I can see like your foot kind of on the gas a little bit. Just kind of give yourself a little bit of a recharge, a little bit of permission to kind of try something new or go forward. Or if there's something that you need to put the gas on for, like, I feel like I've got to give you a validation that now's the time for that. Sone, just, I know I asked you about this before, but I was just wanted to know whether or not there was an update. I don't feel like anything has shifted there. So the previous response before, I don't feel like anything has shifted there. Arise in Phoenix, the spirit girl I saw as a teen talking to me, was she associated with the nursing home deaths or someone meant for me? Um, I feel it's more meant for you. Because I feel like you're gonna connect with her again. I feel like I can feel that connection there. So I just want you to think for a moment, when you saw her in as a teen, is there a parallel? And just if you say no, I just want you to remember that I said it, because I feel like there's a parallel to something that you went through as a teen. I feel like there's just like this parallel with, it feels growth. It doesn't feel negative to me. I feel like there's going to be like a similar situation or something that's similar that's going to kind of navigate through. Because I feel like she wants to, and I see her kind of running beside you. So I don't know if you saw her kind of running as a teen, or was she walking really fast? Because I feel like she wants to kind of like go with you. She feels very angelic to me. I feel like she's more of that cheerleader from the spirit dimensions. And I keep seeing her latching on, like holding onto your arm. I'm gonna come with you. And she's doing it like a little jog. So I don't know if that's representing forward movement, or if there was something in your teens that you were trying to go forward on, but it's a forward momentum for me. I hope that helps there for you. Overthinking is huge. Trust, yeah. Um, Trust is a hard one, right? I've asked spirit why us humans have so much struggle with the trust. And there's a few different layers with the trust. Number one, it's been broken on our journey. No matter who you are, someone has broken that at some point. We've also labeled anything that doesn't go right for us as a mistake. So we don't want that experience to happen again. But we're not necessarily always taught to trust, right? We're not, that's something for many of us from the time that we're very little, that the youth and the kids that I work with, that comes up a lot with, we're not kind of not taught, they're not taught that necessarily to trust their intuition or ask their guides. So when we get to a place in our life where we've got all this experience kind of like behind us, we haven't necessarily been taught how to lean in there and trust the process. And there's a lot of things that we haven't necessarily been taught, or we've been taught the opposite of, and we have trouble kind of untangling that. And none of us, and I'll include myself, I'll put myself on this bus as well. None of us want the hard learning. Let's be honest. I don't want it. I'll take it and navigate through it, but I don't want that hard learning. So sometimes when we know things are going to be a little bit rough, it's hard to trust that on the other side of it, that there's a light, that there's better, that there's something else that's coming. And I think that that's one thing that, because of all those other past experiences, that trust can be a hard thing. It took me a lot of years to trust them more than I trust the physical world. It took me a long time. And the moment that I just kind of fell into that, where it's like I trust this dimension more than here, that's when I kind of had huge aha moments with the whole trust space. So, trusting them and forming your relationships with yourself, your higher self, and with them really helps with that. And being aware is the other thing too, is when I'm overthinking something, I bring it into my awareness and I talk to myself about that. Um, my bunny had surgery yesterday. Is there anything I could do to help her recovery? Does she have any messages for me? I feel like you're doing everything right. I feel like you just got to kind of allow the healing, and you're doing a good job with that. I've been feeling quite lost lately in a way I've not felt before. I've had a lot more nightmares recently, and particularly ones where my long hair gets cut off or getting left behind alone. I'm just having a little think. I'm just having a little bit of a listen here, Dan. I just want to kind of tap into that a little bit. So, Dan, when I kind of lean in there and take what resonates and leave the rest, I feel like there's something that you're cutting yourself off from. I feel like there's something that you're kind of wrapped up in. I'm not quite sure what it is. Perhaps you do. That's kind of pinching you off or cutting yourself off from forward momentum. And I feel like you'll go so far, and then there's that pullback. And I also feel that it connects a lot because I'm seeing cord cutting. I actually don't see your hair, I see cord cutting. So when it comes to cord cutting, that is like letting go of things that no longer serve us. So do you have a connection, so an attachment to either a situation or an emotion or an energy or a person, that you kind of need to sever it? It's done very lovingly, and it's from the heart space. I just need to let this go, but I feel like it's like that cut space. That alone feeling, I just want to read that again. My long hair gets cut off or getting left behind alone. So I feel that that's more of a part of you. I feel like that's the hair is symbolic of a part of you. Like a part of you is being pinched off or cut off from the essence of who you are. So one thing that I want to ask you, Dan, and you don't have to answer publicly, you can just kind of answer in your mind, or is um do you hold all versions of yourself in different boxes? Like, do you hold yourself separate? Like, do you hold like the good stuff here and the stuff that's not so great here, and the learning that I've done here? Do you compartmentalize yourself? Is kind of what I need to ask you. And if you're answering yes, I need to kind of give yourself permission to blend all of you in. You don't have to hold all different versions of yourself in different ways. I feel like I've got to kind of give that to you. I hope that makes sense. Um, yeah, Diane Quinn, I'm very bad for overthinking. Tim, the eclipse has a huge shakeup for me, in terms of trust. I felt there are things that I have to look at differently. Felt like a cricket, shedding my skin. Want to peel it off, but I can't force it. No, you can't force it. However, you can't force it, but you can participate in it, right? So, and that's that whole allowing space and allowing that and allowing things to fall back. One thing that really helps with me is, and I think I've talked about it here before at some point on the channel, on things that I need to let go, I literally will write them down. I'll put them in a little bag or a little purse, and I'll walk around and I'll practice it. I'll practice. I'll literally like, I'm gonna walk around the house and I'm gonna leave that here. And I'll do that several times, and just to help bring that into um my alignment, if you will, of I'm learning to let this go. I'm learning. And one thing that spirit always says to me over and over again, this goes not just for Tin, but for everyone, is when we kind of lean into that space of, because we are here in a school of learning. This physical world is a school of learning. And when we kind of embrace that and accept that, you guys, we kind of soften how we feel when we don't pass pass the class, right? When we have to kind of stay in this learning. And I go through this a lot with my mentoring students. They'll be like, well, it's not changing, I'm not growing. And I always say there's still something for you to learn in the level that you're at. Right. So when you kind of look at it that way, it kind of like, okay, I'm still learning something before the transition or before the next step, because we can't take the next step or go to the next grade until we've kind of muddled through where we're standing right now. And you're doing a good job with where you're standing right now. Right. I hope that that resonates there. Let's see where we need to go here. I lost my spot. Okay, here we are. Dee Dee, today is our 36th anniversary, and we both have grown and have changed our pants to enjoy the next 30 years, 36 years. I love that, Dee Dee. Thanks very much for sharing, and happy 36th anniversary. That's so awesome. Hi there, Wes. I see you out there, Wes. Um, I relate so much to the overthinking and needing to overcome that. I like your necklace. Oh, thank you very much. So it's actually an amethyst, and it probably looks quite dark on the. It is a darker amethyst. So whenever I find a crystal that I really like, I get it, have it wrapped. I think this one was might have been done by one of my students. But if I find a crystal, I like to get them wrapped. But yeah, that's an amethyst. I think that one was made by one of my students, Jennifer Kraus. I've been guided to go through Facebook follows and edit, do some guarding to stay in the positive energy. Absolutely. What we feed ourselves, energetically, like, so, there's, if you sit in the doom and gloom, that's kind of how you're going to feel. And it's not necessarily being unaware of things, but you got to kind of have that balance of, I need to balance this out for myself, because there's a lot of good in the world too, and there's a lot of positivity in the world too. And other people, we're all entitled to, how we feel about things and our and our opinions on it. But sometimes we can go down the rabbit hole of diving into somebody else's darkness, right? Somebody else's fear. Um, and I've seen that a lot with people. I do a lot of work with people with anxiety, and a lot of their anxiety has come from other people's fears. Being the fear of the sky falling, or for, like the big stuff, right? The big stuff, and that affects us such a high vibration, because we do kind of chew on it a little bit, and then we kind of lean into that. What if that does happen, or what if, So I think it's a good idea to do the housekeeping on Facebook. Bonnie, Lana, thank you so much. Helps me understand the roller coaster ride I feel like I've been on. Overthinking, I'm changing my pants. Change your pants. Change those pants. I think that well, I love when spirit gives me such simple stuff that we can all relate to. I'm myself, Bonnie, too. I'm going to work on that visual, literally changing my pants. And you can do that. If you find yourself leaning into an old habit or an old pattern, you can just say, "Hold on, I gotta go change my pants," and either go outside, take a big breath of air in, or just simply visualize yourself changing your pants, or actually change your pants. All right, I love that so much. Change your pants. They don't fit you anymore. 10, haha, the past year I literally changed from wearing those tight pants to wearing long dresses. That's something else too, is completely changing your style. Thanks for contributing to that, changing your style. That's fantastic. I love that so much. So Aaron says, Jennifer, I feel that it seems like time to clear out online and physically. Yeah, it is. It is time. 100% it is time. And it comes back to that whole leveling up and letting go. If we're coming into the next step of our growth, and collectively for our growth, we need to make room, right? Absolutely. It makes so much sense. Travis, I've been having very intense dreams for about a week. Is spirit wanting me to communicate something to me? Or what is this? So Travis, I just need to know a little bit more. I'll try and watch for your comment here. So when it comes to the intense dreams, sometimes, and this is kind of where I have to kind of lean in there too, is are your intense dreams connected to anything that's going on in your physical world? Because sometimes we take our stuff to bed with it and we sleep with it, right? We can sleep with that, with those emotions, and they can become distorted. So, is there anything in the physical world that you're navigating through that's either taking up a lot of headspace or a lot of time that you're kind of mustering through? And if your answer to that is no, then I kind of lean into more of, because sometimes a dream is just a dream. Is the other thing. When it comes to intense dreams, what I'd like you to do is, if you journal them and just watch for a theme, right? Because sometimes when we're asleep, the intensity of a dream can be interpreted very differently, or there can be a theme that we're being asked to look at. And that's kind of what I do with my dreams is I will journal them. I have a journal by my bed, and if anything comes up in my dream time, I write it down. And then sometimes I'll kind of lean into there, and it'll feel different. That just feels like, of just a funny dream. Rather, I was doing something odd or whatever it is. And then I'll lean in there and I'll watch for the theme. Because I feel that repeat messages, if spirit's trying to tell you something, it will come at you will see the theme in it. And it'll be like, oh, okay, I've got to start doing this. I've got to start doing that. When I kind of lean in there, Travis, one thing though that I do feel that I gotta talk to you about, is any of your intense dreams about not being well or not being okay. Because I feel I just have to ask you that. I'm gonna hang on here as long as I can for your responses, and I'll try and keep an eye out there for it. Dan, Travis, my dreams have become intense recently too. Watch for what you're dreaming of, because that is very significant. Watch for the themes, because let's say the theme of the dream is I'm writing down my dreams, and oh yeah, it's very fearful. It's very fearful. What fear have I been tapping into? Fear is, and I'm going to ask both Dan and Travis this. What have you been dancing in that's been fearful? Right? What vibration of fear are you having a tango? And that's how spirit's showing it to me. So one of you is dancing in the fear lane, whether it be fear of all kinds of things, right? I feel like there's something energetically off with one of you as far as what you're exposing your brain to or your physical body to. And it feels fearful, right? So I'll leave that there for you. Um There's a lot of messages here, you guys, and I'm gonna apologize in advance. I can't get to them all. I've got to let you go very soon, but I very much appreciate your comments and your questions. Um, where are we here? Tabitha, I was thinking that that something needs to change within me. Diane Quinn, I was too shy. Aw. Next time, come on up. Come on up next time. All right. Kayla, good morning. I'm late, but I'm here. Thanks, Kayla. Um, sorry, you guys. Becca. My brother died very recently, and I'm wondering if he has any messages for me. Thank you. Becca, number one, I know you probably know this. He's very much okay. Like I feel like I'm very much okay. I also feel, like he's just kind of going through that transition space. There is like a little bit of a transition time. He is sending so much love. I've got to talk about very quickly though. He's showing me the number 4. So either a family of 4, you're one of 4, or the month of April is being very significant anniversary, birthday, or passing. And I also have to talk about September. He's got because I'm here. I'm seeing September as being another very significant time. Um, I also feel I can just feel such a softness there. I can feel like a soft energy from him. I feel like a soft, like a big softy or a soft energy there. He needs you to know that he's doing this. I'm watching you. I'm keeping an eye on you. I've got you from above. He's kind of like doing this whole I've got you from above kind of thing. He wants you to know that he's got your back. So I don't know if there was, if that's something that you always said, I got your back, or, can you cover for me? But he's got your back. He wants you to know that he's got your back. I love that so much. I'm just going to scroll down here and see if Dan has answered, and is he Dance or Daniel? Where are you, Daniel? or Travis. A lot going on in my physical world, but the dreams don't hit on that. Okay. Thank you very much. One was about a flood and and my dead grandpa, my favorite guy, and a weird cast of characters who fought a snake. Okay, so Travis, thanks very much for sharing that. Now I won't get into a whole dream analysis on that, but I will give you a few of the Coles notes. Okay, so number one, water and flooding. Water is a very cleansing element. And I feel like there's this big push with cleansing, and with the snake is transformation. So, and you can look this up too if you want, Travis. You can kind of like just look up in a dream dictionary or in a dream dictionary online for the deeper meanings. The fact that your grandfather, who's been passed a long time, came through in that dream, he's kind of encouraging and supporting this transformation and helping you grow. So when you look, Travis, at what's been kind of navigating, have you been going through some growth or letting go or cleansing stuff in in your physical life? Because that those two things, as soon as I read water and snake and a dead loved one, it's growth and shedding into that new version of you, that change and that shedding. So, like I said, I mean, I could, oh, dream analysis, I could spend 45 minutes just on that sentence alone, breaking it down further, but you can look it up. Like you can kind of break it down and just make sure you got a fairly reliable source. Okay. um Dan, I think I know the answer deep down, but it's just out of my reach right now. Okay, so Dan, what I just want you to, if it's out of your reach right now, what I want you to do is I want you to get something very symbolic. I'm just going to use my cup for as an example. Okay, so my cup, I'm going to visual. My cup is what's out of my reach right now. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it. I'll just do it this way for demonstration, but I would hold it across a table or just over arm's length away so that you have to reach, so that you have to reach in, and I'd like you to practice reaching for that goal. And one thing that why I want you to practice reaching for that goal is it helps your alignment with the manifesting, with staying with what I want. I'm reaching for it. I can't quite reach it yet, but just keep like kind of reaching for it and just put it just out of your reach, because like, our goals are not that far off. There's a path and a journey to get there, but I'd like you to kind of tap into that and change the energy of that a little bit. I hope that that helps you, Dan, or all of you. I love how this community is growing. Thank you, Lana, for bringing us together. Love and light to all. Much love and light to all of you too. And thank you, Miss Nisa. I am so grateful I for the growth here. I don't very often look at the numbers, mainly because and I'll say this lovingly from my heart space. If one person follows me on YouTube, that gains something, it's enough. And if a million people follow me on YouTube, it's the same feeling for me. It's enough. So I every now and again I will look at the numbers. But there has been last time I looked, there has been a lot of growth, and that makes me so happy that our little community is growing, and that we're all coming together and working through a lot of stuff right now, right? A lot of stuff right now. I love being part of this community. I feel so blessed to be here. So do I. So do I. All right, I have pushed the boundary with time. I've got to go because before every session I shift gears and I sit in a different energy for my client to kind of get into that kind of alignment. Thumbs up, by the way, you guys. Thumbs up if you're having a good time here. Give me those likes. Spirit animal book. Let's see what we all need to what do we all need to know. So if you can all just take a moment to pull in with me collectively, what does the group need to know? And I just want to hold it. I just feel I need to pause for whatever reason. I'm just going to trust that I need to pause, even though I'm in a hurry. I need to pause the spirit. Okay. The cardinal. The cardinal. All right. Someone needs your compassionate and loving attention that has flagged you down to get it. Stop right where you are. Observe your surroundings, then notice the sensations in your body. This is a very creative time, one where it's best to heed your intuitive guidance as to how to express this creativity. Add color to your life in your home, environment, yard, and in your choices of clothing. Sorry, we just talked about pants, right? Sorry, I get very excited. This is a good time to explore religion you grew up in with eyes and heart open for a fresh look. That word can be changed to spirituality as well, right? So it's a good time to explore spirituality, right? So you always take what resonates, whatever word resonates, and leave the rest. I love that. Sorry, I get so excited. We just spent some time talking about that. See here. Excited to see you and Haley together again. So I was so happy to hear you were doing one. Yeah, we are going to do one. I'm not quite sure when. Haley and I, we're in the same area of on the map. We're not far from each other. Schedules are kind of been like, for both of us, but we're going to do a video together, and it's going to be very interesting and a lot of fun. And I love her so much. I am going to come on briefly on Friday and do a check-in. I have to work Friday morning in person, and I also have an event Friday night. I'm at Sugar Daddy's in Cambridge, Ontario, doing another platform event. So 2 in 1 week for me. So I should be in, extremely hyper mode come the end of the week, or come Saturday and Sunday, with their whole spirit recharge piece. As always, love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care, everyone. This has been a really good segment, by the way.